Hello, steadfast Taurus. Something quiet yet powerful is already finding its way toward you. As the longest light of the year stretches across the sky and a new season begins to unfold, a shift is taking shape that can change your direction, touch your heart, and remind you that you have never been walking alone. This is more than another video appearing in your feed. It feels like a moment that was always meant to cross your path. Have you been sensing that something is opening in your life, even if you have struggled to find the words for it? Maybe it has appeared as a gentle pull inside your chest, a feeling you cannot quite explain, or a pause in an ordinary day that seemed to carry unusual meaning. That feeling was never random. It was a signal, quiet at first, but growing clearer with time. What once felt like a whisper is beginning to reveal itself as a message, a piece of understanding, a doorway into the next chapter, waiting to emerge. I am not here to offer empty promises or vague predictions. I am here to walk beside you, Taurus, as we uncover the wisdom that has been sitting in plain sight all along. What is moving toward you carries more meaning than you may realize right now. Something beautiful is already taking shape, and even if you cannot fully see it yet, its presence is becoming stronger with each passing day. This opportunity is not arriving because of luck alone. It is arriving through everything you have endured, everything you have learned, and every moment you chose to keep going when it would have been easier to stop. Perhaps you have questioned your path. Perhaps you have spent more time waiting than you ever expected. Yet something is shifting now. The seeds you planted during difficult seasons are beginning to respond to the light, and what once felt distant is slowly finding its way back into reach. This is not really about religion. It is about presence. It is about alignment. It is about recognizing that timing often reveals its purpose only after the pieces begin to come together. It is also about realizing that support has been with you the entire time. Even during the moments that felt most lonely, the signs never stopped appearing. A repeating number on a clock, a song lyric that stayed with you for days, a dream that felt far more meaningful than ordinary sleep. Take a slow breath and allow yourself to notice that something important is unfolding right now. This video is not here simply to fill a few minutes of your day. It is a message meant to help you reconnect with yourself. If you are still here listening, there is a reason for that. Before we continue, I would love for you to comment the number 222 below as a sign that you are fully present in this moment. That number is not for me, it is for you. Let it be a simple declaration that you are here, aware, and open to receiving what is already making its way toward you. You can also write, "I'm ready to receive what's mine." Sometimes a small act of intention becomes the first step toward a much larger shift. And if these messages have brought comfort, clarity, or encouragement during your journey, there is another way to help keep this space growing. You can support the channel through the link in the description or the QR code on your screen. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps these messages continue reaching the people who need them and allows this community to keep sharing moments of hope, healing, and guidance together. Whether you support through a contribution, a kind comment, a like, a subscription, or simply by showing up and listening, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your presence means more than you know. Every gesture of support becomes part of the energy that keeps these messages flowing outward into the world. Trust me when I say, Taurus, you will want to stay with me through this entire video because what is beginning to reveal itself carries a depth and beauty that may surprise you. Tell me, beautiful soul, what quiet act of faith brought this message into your path today? What choice, feeling, or moment of trust guided you here? I believe part of you already knows the answer, so let us step into this together. Let us begin. There are seasons in life when the quiet within feels heavier than everything happening around you. Yet it is often in those still moments that something important begins to rise from beneath the surface. The voice of your soul does not appear to judge you or shame you. It arrives to help you notice what you are finally ready to see. That is the invitation carried by the judgment card in today's message. It is not asking you to revisit the past with regret. Instead, it gently encourages you to recognize a truth you no longer need to push aside. Taurus, for a long time you may have focused on keeping everything steady, holding things together, and carrying more responsibility than anyone realized. You may have remained strong when your heart wanted rest or set your own needs aside, so life around you could continue without disruption. Yet real peace is not created through constant self-sacrifice. It begins when you honor what you genuinely feel and what you truly value, even when that truth challenges familiar routines. Growth often starts the moment you stop shrinking yourself to preserve comfort. When the Judgment card appears, especially near the beginning of a message, it signals an important threshold. It invites you to pause and ask yourself some honest questions. Whose expectations have been shaping my choices? What version of myself have I been maintaining simply because it felt safer than change? And perhaps most importantly, what part of me is ready to grow again? The timing of this message feels especially meaningful. As we move through the energy of the summer solstice and into the opening days of Cancer season, the atmosphere shifts from endurance toward emotional honesty. This is not about becoming louder, it is about becoming more authentic. The energy surrounding this moment encourages you to move beyond old limitations and bring your actions into alignment with what you already know deep inside. Taurus, this is an opportunity to give your truth more space to breathe, not because you want conflict, but because clarity creates freedom. Imagine expressing what has been resting heavily on your heart and feeling that weight begin to ease. That is what this card is asking you to consider. You do not need to reinvent your life overnight. The first step is far simpler and far more meaningful. Tell yourself the truth, even if it stays between you and a journal for now, even if no one else hears it yet. Write down 5 things you have been holding back from yourself. Your desires, your disappointments, your hopes for the future. Let those words become the light that clears away the fog created by obligation and expectation. There is deep healing in finally giving a voice to what has remained hidden. When your inner truth and your outer life begin moving in the same direction, something shifts. More honest relationships become possible. Trust in yourself grows stronger. Your sense of direction becomes clearer. And while we are not speaking about religion, there is something remarkable about living in alignment with who you truly are. The moment you stop performing and release the need to manage how everyone sees you, a different kind of grace begins to enter your life. Circumstances respond differently. Conversations change. The pressure you have been carrying starts to soften. This is not random, it is resonance. People often say miracles arrive through perfect timing, and there is truth in that. Yet miracles also emerge through courage. They appear when you quietly choose to say, "This is who I am. This is what I need. This is the life I want to build." The universe meets you differently when you stop hiding from yourself. So if you have felt pressure to stay silent, to keep carrying more than you should, let today mark a new beginning. Let it be the day you reconnect with your own voice. What waits on the other side of that honesty is not loss. It is freedom. The life that fits you more naturally may be closer than you think. It begins with one simple question. What truth inside me is ready to be released? Let that be where we continue. Sometimes hope does not arrive as a dramatic breakthrough. Sometimes it comes like the first easy breath after a long season of holding everything in, or like a warm summer breeze brushing across your skin when you almost forgot what lightness felt like. That is exactly how the star card enters this message. It does not demand attention. It simply offers gentle reassurance that something within you is beginning to shine again. It may seem like a small shift, Taurus, yet it has the power to change far more than you realize. After the gentle awakening of the Judgment card, where you are encouraged to acknowledge what no longer belongs in your life, the star arrives like a quiet gesture of reassurance. This energy is not asking you to force healing or demand immediate answers. It simply reminds you that the healing process began the moment you allowed yourself to feel what was true. You do not have to accomplish something extraordinary to deserve renewal. You do not need to prove your worth before restoration can find you. Your role right now is to remain open. The timing of this message reflects that beautifully, as the opening days of Cancer season invite deeper reflection, softer emotions, and a greater willingness to receive. As gentle planetary influences encourage stillness and emotional awareness, there is an invitation to soften where you have been holding tension. That softness is not weakness. In many ways, it is where your deepest strength is rebuilt. Some of the strongest roots grow quietly beneath the surface long before anyone sees the bloom. If you have been noticing repeating numbers, hearing songs that seem to speak directly to your heart, or remembering things you thought had long faded away, take a slow breath. You're not imagining these moments. You're becoming more aware of what has always been there. Often these signs appear after an unspoken question rises within you, asking whether you are still seen, still supported, still remembered. The answer often arrives gently. It comes through small confirmations that remind you that you have not been forgotten. The star encourages you to stop chasing every answer and begin allowing life to meet you where you are. If you've been trying to carry every burden alone, this card offers a different path. Not every form of healing requires struggle. Sometimes healing asks for rest. Sometimes it asks for patience, nourishment, and space. Just as a garden does not bloom faster because we demand it to, your spirit also follows its own rhythm of renewal. Right now, that rhythm is quietly working in your favor. The star also speaks of faith, though not the kind built on blind optimism. It points toward a steady inner knowing that what lies ahead holds more promise than what has been left behind. In everyday life, hope often arrives in ways that seem simple at first. A long-awaited conversation, an unexpected reconnection, or a moment of grace appearing without warning. I often think of the small stories people share about these moments. Sometimes after years of distance, healing arrives without fanfare. No dramatic announcement, no grand display. Just the right thing arriving at the right moment. That is the energy of the star. It brings nourishment rather than noise. Taurus, you may not feel completely ready to begin again, yet new beginnings rarely wait for perfect conditions. They respond to willingness. And right now, you are being offered an opportunity to trust your own light again. Even if that light feels small, even if it flickers from time to time, it still matters. So take a fresh look at your life today. Where has hope quietly started returning? Perhaps it appears in your willingness to keep moving forward on difficult days. Perhaps it lives in a small act of kindness you offered while carrying your own worries. Perhaps it is simply the fact that you chose to press play on this video. Those moments matter. They are part of your healing. If this message speaks to you, take a moment to honor it. Leave a comment such as, "I see the light returning," or "I choose to believe again." Speaking those words helps strengthen the path you are beginning to walk. Healing does not always feel extraordinary while it is happening. Sometimes it feels simple and ordinary, yet what appears ordinary to the outside world can still hold deep meaning within your own life. That is the heart of the star card. Let it illuminate the road ahead, however gently that light may arrive. When life begins communicating through subtle signs, meaningful coincidences, and quiet shifts in awareness, it is often preparing the ground for something ready to grow. The appearance of the Empress in this message is far more than a symbol of beauty or abundance. It is confirmation that the soil within you has been nourished, and that something once hidden is beginning to emerge into the light. This card often appears after long seasons of patient tending. Perhaps you have given your energy to others without much recognition. Perhaps you set aside your own desires while focusing on responsibilities and stability. Or maybe you have carried a dream quietly within your heart, imagining it in private while wondering whether the timing would ever feel right. The Empress is no longer asking you to wait, Taurus. She arrives with a different message, one that encourages you to grow, create, and step into what has been quietly developing within you. The energy surrounding this moment supports movement and expression. It carries the feeling that something you have been holding inside is finally ready to take shape. Astrologically, this period holds a vibrant, creative current. As fresh lunar energy begins building, themes connected to joy, inspiration, romance, and personal expression become more active. This is not happening by accident. The atmosphere around you seems to be saying that it is safe to bring an idea into the real world, safe to hope again, and safe to pursue what genuinely matters to your heart. Many people hesitate to begin because they believe everything must be flawless before it can be shared. Yet the Empress reminds us that creation is rarely neat. Growth can be beautiful and imperfect at the same time. Sometimes the purpose is not achieving a result, but reconnecting with the simple joy of making something meaningful. Think of a child singing without concern for how they sound. Think of a garden opening into bloom whether anyone stops to admire it or not. There is something freeing about creating for the sake of being alive. The Empress invites you back into that space. I once spoke with someone who spent years giving nearly all of her energy to work and responsibility. One day she picked up a paintbrush again for the first time in many years. She was not creating for recognition or profit. She simply followed the desire to make something that belonged entirely to her. That small decision became the beginning of unexpected changes. New friendships entered her life. Her sense of purpose deepened. Even the way she cared for herself began to shift. She did not force any of it. She simply responded to the urge to create, and life gradually expanded around that choice. That is often how the Empress works. She invites growth through participation rather than pressure. So ask yourself what in your life feels ready to emerge into the light. What idea have you been carrying quietly, wondering whether it matters enough, whether it is too late, or whether anyone would understand its value? Perhaps it is starting a project you have postponed. Perhaps it is refreshing your living space, planting something with your own hands, learning a new skill, or recording a memory you never want to lose. Choose one thing, just one, and take a step toward it this week, not because it guarantees an immediate transformation, but because it honors what has already been growing within you. This is also a beautiful season for practicing self-love in tangible ways. Move your body in a way that feels supportive rather than demanding. Choose foods that leave you feeling energized and cared for. Allow rest to become part of your rhythm rather than something you feel obligated to earn. The Empress teaches that when you begin treating yourself with genuine care, the world often reflects that energy back to you. If you have been waiting for a sign to start, consider this your invitation. Not simply because of a card or a message, but because you can already feel that quiet pull inside yourself. You do not need anyone else's permission. You need your own presence. And presence begins with a simple choice. I am ready to act on what I've been carrying. Let that choice become your prayer today. Write down 5 dreams that have been waiting patiently in the background of your life. Look at them carefully and choose the one that feels most alive right now. Before you go, leave a comment that says, "I plant by acting today." When your hands meet the soil, even the smallest seed has the potential to become something extraordinary. Sometimes what grounds us is not what we can see ahead, but what we can feel beneath us. It is that steady sense that even without knowing every step of the journey, we are still being guided. After embracing the creative invitation of the Empress, the Hierophant now enters this message like a reassuring hand resting gently on your shoulder. It reminds you that the path ahead does not have to be walked alone. There is already a quiet order moving through your life, Taurus, whether you have fully noticed it or not. Beneath the surface, certain patterns, rhythms, and forms of guidance have been supporting your path for far longer than you realize. The Hierophant is often reduced to ideas of tradition or structure, yet in a message like this, its meaning becomes much more personal. It speaks of the foundations that steady you, the habits that nourish you, and the wisdom that continues to guide you forward. This card reminds you of the people, teachings, and experiences that have helped shape who you are. It points toward truths that endure across time and the comfort of knowing you belong to something larger than a single moment or challenge. For Taurus, whose nature values stability and genuine substance, the Hierophant offers reassurance that structure can be supported rather than limiting. Sometimes the strongest growth happens because there is something solid beneath it. Energetically, this card often appears when your beliefs are evolving. You may find yourself reconsidering old assumptions, adjusting your priorities, or asking deeper questions about your purpose and direction. These questions are not arriving to create confusion, they are arriving to create expansion. The hierophant does not appear with every answer neatly arranged in front of you. Instead, it reminds you that understanding has been unfolding step by step all along. Even during periods when you felt uncertain, you were never expected to carry the entire journey by yourself. Guidance has been present in ways both obvious and subtle. I am reminded of a story someone once shared after feeling lost for a very long time. She had nearly convinced herself to let go of a dream she had nurtured for years. Then, on the very day she planned to walk away from it, she received a simple message from someone whose life had been touched by her work long ago. That message did more than change a decision. It changed how she viewed timing, trust, and the invisible ways life sometimes coordinates events. Later, she said something powerful. She realized she had not been forgotten. She had been protected and prepared. That reflects the energy of the hierophant perfectly. This kind of guidance rarely arrives with great fanfare. More often, it appears exactly when it is needed. In astrology, the hierophant is traditionally connected with Taurus energy, emphasizing steadiness, endurance, and the value of building something that lasts. It encourages you to ground your vision in reality while still allowing yourself to grow. You may also begin noticing the number 222 appearing in unexpected places. Perhaps it shows up on clocks, receipts, addresses, or passing signs. In this season, that number carries a message of trust, alignment, and receiving what is ready to enter your life. It is not a signal of sudden disruption. It points toward gentle realignment and deeper harmony. If uncertainty has been weighing on you lately, let this be a reminder that you have not been moving in circles. What may have felt like delay was often preparation. The roots were growing before the bloom appeared. There are forces working behind the scenes that have been helping clear the path ahead, and if it seems as though nobody truly understands where you stand right now, the hierophant offers comfort. Support exists, whether it arrives through a trusted mentor, meaningful teachings, or a deeper wisdom already living within you. Sometimes that is enough to help you keep moving forward. As you sit with this message, take a moment to reflect. Which daily practices have helped you feel grounded recently? What guidance made sense only after time had passed? The answers may reveal more than you expect. If this card speaks to something within you, leave a comment that says, "I am being guided and protected." Say those words not because you need evidence, but because speaking them helps align you with what is already unfolding. This is not a season for carrying everything alone. Taurus, let the hierophant remind you that wisdom is available both around you and within you. Trust the process that is taking shape. Trust the support that has been present all along. You are not moving forward without direction. You are being guided. And now we arrive at the place where everything you have felt, sensed, hoped for, and even worried about asks to become something real. Because faith without action remains an idea. Faith expressed through action is where transformation truly begins. Taurus, you have moved through the awakening of the Judgment card, the gentle healing of the star, the growing promise of the empress, and the steady guidance of the hierophant. Every one of those energies has been preparing you for this moment. This is the place where you begin living, as though what you believe is already taking root in your life. The journey has been leading here all along. It is easy to say you trust the process when everything makes sense. Real faith reveals itself when the path is unclear, when answers are incomplete, and when you choose to move forward anyway. That is what this chapter is asking of you. It is not only about imagining a better future, but about taking a step that reflects the future you want to build. That step does not need to be dramatic. It may be so small that nobody else notices it, yet your soul will recognize it immediately, and that is what matters most. Growth often begins quietly, like a seed beneath warm summer soil, before anyone can see the first sign of green. Astrologically, this season supports steady movement. As the sun settles into Cancer and the energy of the solstice lingers, there is a powerful invitation to nurture what truly matters. The planets are encouraging you to move beyond wishing and into participation. Saturn reminds us that commitment creates lasting foundations, while Mars provides the spark needed to begin. Together, these energies support action that is honest, imperfect, and real. You do not need every detail figured out before you start. You only need a place to begin, and perhaps that begins with one important question. If you knew success was possible, what would you do today? Not next week. Not when conditions feel ideal. Today, would you submit the application, release what no longer nourishes you, begin the project you keep postponing, or reconnect with someone who still matters to your heart? That question reveals more than you may realize. It shines light on the places where your heart has been quietly calling to you, while fear encouraged hesitation. Sometimes the desire itself is the sign you have been waiting for. Sometimes longing appears because a part of you already knows the direction you are meant to explore. I remember hearing about someone who carried a dream of opening a wellness space for years. She spent a long time waiting for certainty. Eventually, she offered a single class from her own home. That one small action, inspired by faith rather than fear, became the beginning of something that touched many lives, including her own. That is the power of honoring belief through action. Let us bring that idea into everyday life. With your health, begin with something simple. Give yourself 10 quiet minutes in the morning and evening to reconnect with your body and your thoughts. Drink more water. Support yourself with small routines that communicate care and attention. In your work life, ask yourself what you are continuing only because it feels familiar. There is a difference between stability and stagnation. Outgrowing something does not mean you failed. It often means you are ready for a different season of growth. With finances, pay attention to where your resources are flowing, not as an act of judgment, but as a way of understanding what truly matters to you. Awareness creates clarity. Clarity creates better choices. In love, allow yourself to name your needs honestly and compassionately. Write them down if you need to. Then stop convincing yourself that connections should survive without mutual care and understanding. What you acknowledge clearly becomes easier to honor. If any part of this message speaks to you, leave a comment that says, "I act in faith, not in fear." Let those words move beyond thought and into action. Sometimes the smallest declaration becomes the first step toward meaningful change. Taurus, the universe responds to more than hopes and wishes. It responds to your willingness to participate in what you are calling forward, and your willingness, supported by trust, carries far more power than you may have given yourself credit for. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Create momentum where you are. Even the gentlest movement matters. In many cases, gentle movement is exactly how lasting transformation begins. This is not the end of your story. It is the moment you begin holding the pen more consciously. And if you have stayed with me this far, I want you to take a slow, steady breath. Breathe in more than air. Breathe in permission. Permission to release the pressure, the deadlines you created for yourself, and the questions that have demanded answers before their time. The truth is that you are not behind. You are not late to your own life. You are not lost. You are standing at the edge of something meaningful, something that has been quietly waiting for your willingness to say, "Yes, I am ready." Much of your journey has involved waiting, but not the kind of waiting that leaves you unchanged. This has been the kind of waiting that strengthens roots beneath the surface. While things may have appeared still from the outside, something important has been developing within you all along. You have been preparing for this moment through every act of hope, every day you chose to continue, and every prayer spoken without immediate proof that anyone was listening. The answers arrive in their own time, not always when we expect them, but when we are ready to receive them. You do not need to be saved. Taurus, you are already being guided. That quiet feeling you have been carrying, the one that suggests something is beginning to shift, even though you cannot fully explain it yet, is not your imagination. It is a sign of alignment. What may appear to be a delay from the outside is often timing unfolding exactly as it needs to. What looks like a pause can actually be preparation. What feels like a detour can be creating the conditions for something meaningful to arrive. So let me ask you something gently. What would you finally allow yourself to receive if you truly believed it was already meant for you? What blessing have you kept at a distance because part of you felt you had not earned it yet? What opportunity have you minimized, postponed, or talked yourself out of because it seemed too ambitious, too uncertain, or too far away? What dream have you interrupted before it even had the chance to fully form? Now is the time to bring those things back into the light. There is no need to force anything or rush the process. All that is being asked of you is honesty and willingness. Sometimes a new chapter begins with a single choice that seems small in the moment. Perhaps it is writing something down. Perhaps it is making one decision you have delayed for too long. Perhaps it is finally telling someone what you truly need. Or perhaps it is allowing yourself to believe that the love, opportunity, healing, or breakthrough you have been hoping for is closer than you think. It may not be far away at all. It may already be moving quietly around the edges of your life, waiting for an opening. And Taurus, you are the one who holds that door. Your willingness matters. Your action matters. Let your actions become your answer. Let your comment become your declaration. Say it with me. I give myself permission to receive all that is good without conditions. Let those words become your message to the universe, spoken not from lack, but from readiness. Speak them as someone who is prepared to receive now, not someday. If this video connected with your heart in any way, I invite you to take one more small step. Like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you would like to continue sharing in these messages. This space is about more than cards or predictions. It is about connection. It is about gathering people who believe in growth, healing, timing, and the quiet changes that reshape a life from the inside out. Your presence here carries more meaning than you realize. Every form of support helps these messages continue reaching the people who need them. Whether you are listening, commenting, sharing, or simply showing up, it matters. Thank you for being part of this journey. Taurus, you are not alone, and you never have been. The signs have been appearing. The path has been opening little by little. And yes, something meaningful is approaching. Not to overwhelm you, but to remind you of something important. You are supported. You are seen. You are stronger than you may sometimes remember. The next step belongs to you, and the universe is already walking beside you. Are you ready?